Hello students, in today's session we will discuss what is unsupported beam and how do we design it. Before going ahead for solving the unsupported beam or for designing steps, we will understand first what is the design of a laterally unsupported beam. How does this laterally unsupported beam is work and what is major difference between the laterally supported beams and laterally unsupported beams. So let's understand that first. We will then go for the problems. So see here, let's take a I section as a beam, and this I section I have said that this I section is using as a beam section, or it is placed as a beam member. I have choose this I section on the basis of ZP. What is ZP here? The plastic section modulus, where from we calculated that ZP is equals to M into Fy. ZP is equals to M into Fy divided by gamma M naught. That's the formula for ZP. See here, if I'm saying I'm using any I section as a section modulus, as a beam member, then that I section must have chosen from the steel table on the basis of ZP. What is ZP? ZP is the plastic section modulus. How do we calculate that? For that we have used formula M into Fy into gamma M naught, right? And this formula is calculated or derived from the flexural formula. You have seen this in the second unit, the pure flexural or pure bending concept. From there you have understood the formula for flexure, and from that same formula we have calculated or rearranged the terms and we come across the ZP. Okay, now once we calculate ZP, once we know the ZP value something, we select I section from the steel table as a beam. But what's the criteria? Criteria says that whatever ZP is required, you have to select the section which will carry more section, plastic section modulus than the required one, and accordingly you choose your section from the steel table, right? Now this is how we choose the section from the steel table for designing of beam, and we have done this in the previous parts, in the previous sums which we solved for supported beams, right? Now I want you to understand the basic difference from the laterally supported beam and laterally unsupported beam. The basic difference is that when you support the beam, when you laterally support your beam with means of supports, I will show you in picture. Right now focus on the major difference. What I'm saying that if you are designing certain beam and you don't aware of its actual condition, is it laterally supported or laterally unsupported, or you are confused with how to choose when to go for laterally supported beam and when to go for laterally unsupported beam. That's the question, right? And how do we select, or how do we design, how do we get to know that when to go for which type of a beam, correct? For that, let's understand basic difference from them. Let me take one I section. Okay, I have chosen two I sections. This I section, if the flange of this I sections are embedded into the concrete, otherwise if they have shear supports, shear connection like this is the concrete block above, and you have placed shear connections in the flange and in the concrete part of your slab deck, okay, or whatever deck above the beam. What I said, either you embedded your top flange or upper flange inside the concrete block or the slab you have one above the beam. Otherwise, you will provide a shear keys or shear anchor shears like this, which get inside the concrete, right? In this two case, what happens? This main part of your beam, this is the major part of your beam, right? This is the web we called. This remaining portion outside the this major region from your beam, this is the web you called, web and the lower flange. This web and the lower flange has a chances of rotating. What I said, it may get rotate, right? And this rotation is called as a twisting movement developed inside web of a beam and the lower flange. What I said, the twisting movement develops inside the web of your beam. If due to that twisting movement, if your beam experiences the torsion due to this twisting moment, if your beam is experiencing torsion and may have a chances of failure due to torsion, then that kind of a beam is called as laterally unsupported. That kind of a beam is called as a laterally unsupported, right? But in this case where you have provided your upper or a top flange embedded inside the concrete block, inside this concrete block. In this case, this arrangement where you have provided upper or a top flange inside the concrete block or with the help of shear keys, what happens? This is avoid, this restraint, this arrangement restrain the torsional behavior of or a torsional rotation of your web or a remaining part of a beam. So we restrain the torsion or torsional movement of your beam with supports provided by the concrete block, and you embedded your upper flange into the concrete block. In that case, you call your beam laterally supported. Laterally supported. Coming back to it again, see here. What I said, you have a beam. Okay, you have a beam like this and this, and this beam has a lateral support. When it has a lateral support, when you put the top flange with shear bolts or shear keys, otherwise you embedded your top flange inside the concrete block. In this case, the torsional movement is avoided, is restrained, and therefore we call such arrangement of a beam as a laterally supported beam. If the beams are, see here, if the beams only simply supported, they are simply supported, in that case we called it as a laterally unsupported. They are behave as a laterally unsupported. What happens in that? The torsional movement takes place, torsion behavior takes place. The beam experience torsional movement, and to avoid that we provide a support, and then we call such a beams laterally supported. Now in this second part of your fourth unit, we are moving towards laterally unsupported beam. Now we are solving for laterally unsupported beams. In the first part of your unit, fourth, we have solved laterally supported beams, in which the beams are embedded into the concrete or may provided support with the shear keys. And in that you have, if we go for these steps, we calculated ZP first, right? Plastic section modulus. Then we then we selected section from the steel table. Then we checked for the shear, and then we checked the moment capacity or the strength carrying capacity of a beam, and we provided check for buckling. This is the procedure, right? But we have not seen moment of due to torsion. We have not checked, or we have not designed our beam for the critical force or the critical moment coming due to the torsion. That additional part is due to the unsupported condition. If the beam is unsupported, then you have to take care of what? The torsional behavior, torsional moment coming upon our beam section, right? And that's what the extra part comes into the laterally unsupported beam. So let's try to solve one problem on the basis of laterally unsupported beam, and we will do that step by step, and I'm gonna teach you every step and describe you what's the importance of that step in the next lecture. Thank you so much.